Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Sockbot, and today I am doing a little bit of a different video because I just saw a trailer for this new game coming out. They just announced it at E3. It's called Unravel. I'm not sure exactly who the developers are. It looks like it's just, yeah, all I see is just Unravel game everywhere here and there. And a lot of people are actually saying that it seems to be very, very similar to LittleBigPlanet. And so yeah, this video is just kind of respond like that. I'm going to kind of talk about some of the similarities between the games and then kind of give you my opinion on whether or not it's like stealing ideas from our famed LittleBigPlanet. So just starting off with the concept, with like the look of the game, the general feel of the graphics and everything, it does seem a lot like LittleBigPlanet because it's very high quality, and this high quality is used on a very strange aspect, and that's like on an almost childish but just very stylized sort of graphical feel to the game. Now, LittleBigPlanet does this through Sackboy, who is a burlap sack, or more recently, who is actually made out of yarn if you look very closely at the character models, and that is very, very similar to this new game called Unravel. I mean, the character has ears, so it's more of a mouse than just a little small person, but it is a very, very similar concept. Now, is this copying up of LittleBigPlanet? I don't think so. I mean, Kirby's Epic Yarn came out a few years ago, and people said that might be copying too. And there's a certain point where you have to say it's not copying, they're just sharing similar ideas, but it clearly does have its own style. You can't just say any 2D or 2DS that's like kind of 2D, but there's multiple layers. You can't say that and that all of those are taking from each other because it is a new genre of game. And while LittleBigPlanet did a lot to contribute to the beginning of this genre, to launch the idea of 3D graphics in a 2D platformer, it definitely didn't create it, and it's not the one. It's not like other games are stealing from LittleBigPlanet if they're taking just these ideas and putting them into their own game. Now, there's another comparison that's being made, and that's between Unravel and Limbo, and this I think is actually a little bit of a stretch. The way the character moves is very, very similar to Limbo, and actually I wouldn't be surprised if they're made by the same developer, but just the gameplay mechanics just seem to be very different. It's a lot more like fast-paced platforming as opposed to the puzzle platforming that we're used to from Limbo. Huge ambulance just drove by. But anyways, I don't think that's a fair comparison. LittleBigPlanet, I think there is more of a comparison in terms of the graphics, but like people were comparing the yarn to the grappling hook from LittleBigPlanet, and I think that's ridiculous. They're totally different things. I mean, even if it was directly a grappling hook, it would not be copying LittleBigPlanet. It's not the first game to ever have used a sort of grappling hook, and frankly, it wasn't even introduced until the second game. So that comparison is one too specific and just a little crazy. Clearly, there's going to be a lot more focus on the puzzle platforming based around this idea of the yarn that the character has to use in terms of platforming between the different levels, and I think that's going to be much more of a focus, whereas LittleBigPlanet focuses a lot more on like the community. Well, clearly that's what my entire channel is based on, but I don't know if there will be a create mode in this. If it turns into this like new version of the create, play, share version of LittleBigPlanet, I will say that they may have taken that idea and how it's been so successful with LittleBigPlanet and put it into their game. But just in general, I think you've kind of got this idea throughout the video. I don't think that they're the same game, but I do think that they share a lot in common. And that's not a bad thing. I don't think it's going to hurt LittleBigPlanet in any way, and actually, I feel like this might not be a full price game. It looks like it's going to be something more like that they would sell in the PSN store or on the Xbox Live Arcade. And to that extent, it won't be as big of a game as LittleBigPlanet, but it will still fulfill its niche very well, which is this kind of like Limbo-esque, shorter platformer, and I guarantee is going to be a very, very fun game, just because of independent developers that managed to get something like this shown at, in this case, it's the EA conference. Actually, so clearly it's produced by EA, but it has a very independent feel. So normally what happens from that formula, you end up with a very good game, a very good platformer, but one that's only like a few hours long. But frankly, I think it's great. I think it's exciting that this has a market still, because I don't want games like LittleBigPlanet and like this and like Limbo to go away anytime soon. I think they're fantastic games, and I always enjoy playing them. So just, yeah, try not to look at it as copying LittleBigPlanet, just a similarly styled game with you know, totally different gameplay mechanics other than the whole jumping thing. But, you know, if jumping was copying off of LittleBigPlanet, we'd have a lot more problems. But yeah, anyways, my name is Sakbot. If you're coming here from the videos from E3, I make videos on LittleBigPlanet and a few other games, and you're welcome to check out the rest of my channel if you want. If you don't, I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye!
I must be, like, very strong. I mean, I'm a Viking, so clearly I'm very strong to carry this nice lady. Ooh, I could sacrifice her if I wanted to.